Hey, buddy. Yeah, you see the title up there, and yep, and it kind of very similar to my fan recommendation. But the question, obviously, probably anybody here would have, if you're new or not, is who is Dan Drazen? And the reason I'm asking this question, because I know a lot of people ask that question, well, put that question in as the title, is because a lot of people probably new to this are asking the same thing. A lot of people are probably wondering why lately, in the past few months, I've been reading off his reviews. Well, I'll tell you who Dan Drazen is. Dan Drazen is actually probably the most dedicated and the most respected Sonic comic book reviewer out there today. This guy has been doing reviews almost since just about the very first since the very first issues of the comic. Let's just put it that way, just around that time frame. I will provide a link to his archives, and you'll see exactly what I mean. But yeah, he's been doing reviews for a very long time, almost close to 20 years. And he's been doing it by typing up how he feels about it. Now, I can't exactly say when and where he started doing the reviews, but obviously he's been doing it for quite a while, because I remember when I lived in Kansas, reading some of his reviews, but also reading some of his fan fiction. That's true. He actually does some Sonic fan fiction and some non-Sonic fan fiction, but mostly Sonic fan fiction. In fact, I'll give you an example of one of his fan fiction stories that I enjoyed. When Bunny Meets a Bunny. Anybody hear of that one? It's very good. You should check it out when I provide the link to his webpage. But Dan Drazen is, obviously he's a lot older than me and some other people out there. But he's been, like I said, been doing reviews since the beginning. And believe it or not, he does it in a more excuse me. He does it in almost profession, in just about maybe in a just about, if not total, professional manner. You see, he doesn't hold any punches back, and he's unbiased. He says how he feels about something and goes with it. One of the things that makes his reviews unique is he gives them scores. He scores it in three categories: head, eye, and heart. The head of the story, what it's about, the artistic part of it, and if it's got any heart to it. In other words, if it's got any emotion that'll get you invested or interested. Well, Dan Drazen's reviews do just that. They do just that with the scoring system. They score everything, like, basically that's what his reviews do. It's basically like a score. It's like a total amount of how many points you could get out of this. It's like grading. It's like grading a paper. It's like, let's say, okay, an A plus is about 100%, right? An A is about 95 out of 100. A minus is about a 90. A B plus is about 85. A B is about 80. A B minus is 75. I just dropped something here. Hold on. A C plus is about 70. A C is about 65. A C minus is about 60. A D plus is about 55. A D minus, a D is about 50. And a D minus is about 45. And then below that is complete failure. But that's kind of how he grades it. But he does it differently. See, the way I look at it is he kind of gives it a 30 or 25 point average. In other words, if you get 10, 10, 10, you get 30 points each. So it's basically a 30-point average. Not about 25 to 30 average. Just to put it that way. So basically, 30 points each for each category. So basically 10 points each for each category. Now, if he enjoys an issue for everything and says it's got everything that you expect in it, you'll get a 30 point. It's 30 points he gives to that for that review overall. But if it's got some mistakes, if it doesn't really have a heart to it, or really doesn't make any sense as the head of the story, or the head of the story doesn't make any sense, then it gets a little lower. His most recent reviews have averaged, the ones I did yesterday, of Sonic 33, of Sonic 233 and Universe 37. Basically, when you think about it, averaged not that well. One of them was about 18 out of 30, or 18 out of 25, depending on how you look at it. 18 out of 25 wouldn't be too bad, but if it's a 30-point average, then 18 out of 30 is not good. Or 19 out of that's not good. Get what I'm saying? So basically, and then overall, if you want to combine both reviews, 60 out of what? 37? It's not too good. Basically, combined together, those two issues that I reviewed yesterday, on average, were 23 points below being excellent. That's what they were. Individually, 30. Excuse me. Individually, the 30 out of, let's say, 18 below 12. And the same with the 30 out of 19 below 11. Basically 12 to 11 points short. Or of a perfect score. And that's how Dan Drazen does his reviews. He scores it with the high score of 30 overall. It's like with Dancing with the Stars, and I mentioned this in my fan recommendation and when I read off his other reviews. It's like the contestants on Dancing with the Stars are always hoping to get a perfect score of 30. Well, that's exactly what Dan Drazen does with these reviews. He wants to give an issue a perfect score, but if he sees things in there that he doesn't like, then there's nothing he can really do. Then there's nothing he can really do but give his honest and unbiased opinion. Now, for those that thought it was my words coming out yesterday when I did the reviews, first of all, I was just kind of adding on to what he said. Mostly those were Dan Drazen's words. So if you want to take it up with anybody, you can take it up with him. Because like I said, the guy is very respected around the internet as a Sonic comic book reviewer. Excuse me. And he gives an honest and unbiased review. That's what he does. And he scores it, like I said, just like with Dancing with the Stars when they go on there. You know, they'll always, like I said, the contestants are always hoping that the judges is going to give them a perfect score. And and at times they do get it, but most of the other times they kind of get, like, say, a 25 out of 30 or 22 out of 30 or whatever. Or an 18 out of 30. Who knows? But you get what I'm saying. The thing is, that's exactly how he does his reviews. And it's not just with the recent reviews, as you will see when you click on that link down below. It's with all the reviews he's ever done. It's with all the reviews. Doesn't matter if it's the main comic, if it's Universe, the Sonic X comic, the Knuckles comics, the Knuckle miniseries, the other Sonic spin-off miniseries like Death Egg and Quest, you know, as well as the Princess Sally and Tails miniseries, the Super Specials, You know, doesn't matter. He will always give his own honest, unbiased review. You know, and some people may not like hearing something like that coming from somebody like him, but you know what? For people, for people, for all those that complain that people like myself, people like LaserX5, Jonathan83X, you know, Miko, Miko, X, you know, El Centro over at the Saturday Morning Forums, Natalie, if you will, you know, and the list can go on. Like, say, Archie Sonic Luz over at DeviantArt, or Destroyer of Knothole over at Sega Forums, who has that little review he does on blimp.tv. For those of you that complain that we're biased, when some of us have come out and said we're not, we're not biased, Dan is the one reviewer you definitely want to look at. You want to look for, because he's unbiased. He tells it like it is. And again, I know people may not like hearing that, but for every person you complain about that is biased, this guy tells it like it is, whether some of us may like what's going on or not. He tells it like it is. And you gotta, and you know, you gotta look at that like, okay, you know, at least, you know, he's being truthful. You know, I could sit here and I could bash what's going on. Okay, let's say I could bash 225, and I didn't because I enjoyed it. But let's say if I wanted to, let's say I'm one of those biased haters, if you will, and I wanted to bash 225 for what happened. He would give an honest opinion like he did when I read off his review. An unbiased decision. An unbiased review, I should say. So that's who the guy is. And if you want to know, yes, he has a Facebook account. He has a DeviantArt account. And believe it or not, on Facebook, he's friends with Tracy Yardland and Ian Flynn and Ben Bates. And the list goes on. And he's been critical about Ian Flynn at times during his run. Been critical in an unbiased way. In an unbiased way. That's how he is. He's been critical in an unbiased way. He's kind of like, how do I put this? He's kind of like, I guess you want to draw comparisons as much as it sounds ridiculous. He's kind of like the Roger Ebert, maybe, or the Richard Roper of reviews, of the Sonic comic reviewing. You know, he gives honest and unbiased decisions. I mean, not decisions, but reviews. Honest and unbiased reviews. And he will be critical. He may like the other work that this guy, that let's say Ian Flynn has done. He may, you know, he may like it, and he has shown that. Just look up his reviews and he'll prove it to you. Read them and he'll prove it to you. But it doesn't mean he can't be critical. It's just like if Roger Ebert or Richard Roper came out and said, oh, we like what Steven Spielberg has done. He's a great director and everything. But, you know, this latest movie, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. It's not that good. And blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of person he is. He's kind of like in that category. So for all those that you say are biased, he's the one person that's unbiased and will tell it like it is. But that is who Dan Drazen is. So I will provide the information down below, the link to his website, his Facebook, and his DeviantArt page, so you guys can see exactly who he is. So comment if you want down below, video response if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later. But that, my friends, is who Dan Drazen is.